What's going on, people? Welcome to Conversations with Chike Evans. I appreciate you coming in. And today I'll be talking to songwriter, singer J. Michael. J. Michael is the son of Coco from SWV. And I just thought it would be interesting to have a conversation with him to get to know who he is as an artist a little bit better. Already, he's recording and making music, and he's been on reality TV, so his career is off to a great start. I just want to hear a little bit more about him. His stuff is dope, and he can sing. I mean, not just sing, he can sang, sang. Uh, and I want to know a little bit more about him. I appreciate y'all coming in here. I appreciate y'all for supporting me over time. Please go by the YouTube, follow me on YouTube. More importantly, subscribe to me on YouTube, like, comment, share, whether it be good or bad or indifferent. I want to hear from you. So that way, critique me. I can get better. But this is a Instagram live to YouTube forum. I'm at this point. I'm not trying to be super fancy. This is like, you know, regular old regular. Serge, what's going on, man? And go by and check out my man Serge. Serge has great content too. I like when he gets on his rant about music because he's so passionate about what he believes in. Serge, I've been thinking about them time capsules. We need to get back up. I missed that. Miss T Lee, where has she been anyway? I need to reach out to her. I hope you're gonna stick around for J Michael. Just waiting for him to come into the room. And I appreciate you always supporting me. Yes, it was a vibe. Most definitely that. And J. Michael is here. Yeah, Serge, we need to get that back. Let me see something. Accept. Yeah. Yeah, he's dope. He's dope. There he is.
Hi,
How you
I'm
doing?
fine. How are you?
I'm great. I like that hat. I want it.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you for being a guest. I reached out. You said yes. I so appreciate that. Um, listen, I just want to know, I guess first off, how you get to be so dope?
Um, I don't know. Some things just come from God.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, if you could describe yourself as a musician, how would you explain your music and your artistry?
Um, I like to say like if Beyonce, Usher, Michael Jackson, Aaron Hall from God, and my mom all came together and had a baby.
Okay, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see that. So, you mentioned those people. Are all of those people inspiration to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, we might as well just bury the lead. You are a legacy child. I call you legacy children because I've interviewed quite a few children of notable celebrities and talent. So your mother is Coco from SWV. Can't hardly deny that because you look exactly like her. uh, so let's go back to you being a kid, and your mom is this celebrity. She's touring. She's making records. What kind of impression is that on you coming up?
Um, it kind of put everything in perspective as far as like what to expect.
Hmm.
I think um I like to say that I was preparing for a long time without knowing.
Mm.
I study a lot. I watch a lot of old videos. And then, like you said, growing up, I just watched my mom do so much from juggling being a mother, a wife at the time,
Hmm.
and, on the road. It was a lot. So, just seeing her work ethic, that was one thing that was definitely instilled in me. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just, I've seen so much growing up. I've heard all the stories, and I've kind of just, I know what to do and what not to do because of that.
Right. And show business, there's this element of smoke and mirrors, you know, because it's entertainment. But because you are the child of someone prominent, because your mom just wasn't just a regular old singer, she was very prominent. Actually, she's uh, important to the culture, so that puts her in a different place. You got to see in front and behind the scenes, and it you have a different perspective of what the business is, and I'm sure that that puts you in a place to have a different approach to your own place in music and what you should and should not do as far as being in it.
Absolutely. Yes.
What are some of the lessons that you have learned?
Um, well, I feel like I've seen firsthand how ruthless or like how bad the industry can be, how
Mhm,
mean and spiteful people can be.
mhm,
I've had some of that energy directed towards me, and I haven't even really debuted it yet. So that was one thing I had to learn, not the hard way, but it was kind of shocking when you hear all the stories and like you hear about how gutter snipe people can be, and then to like actually have like your feelings kind of hurt in a way because of something that was done to you. That was definitely one of the hard lessons that I had to learn. One of the big ones for me, I always bring this up in all the interviews. My mother always told me, this was before I even decided I wanted to sing for real. She said, no matter what, you need to learn your voice,
mhm,
learn what you can do with it. It's not about singing like somebody else, trying to do somebody else's runs or riffs. Come up with your own. You can be inspired, yes, but as long you got to put you in it.
mhm,
Um, that's one thing that I've noticed with my mother. She can cover a song, but she'll still make it hers.
mhm.
And I feel like out of all of the lessons that I've witnessed and I've been taught, that was the biggest one. And even till this day, I'm still learning my voice, discovering different things here and there. And I'm grateful that she told me that one tidbit, because that's actually how I was able to get through being on tour with her this
Yeah,
past summer. So
yeah. What's that like being on tour?
it's amazing. Honestly, this was my first time being on tour. Like, I have never been out on the road with my mom like this, as far as like living at venues, showering at the venues. Like, you go a few days without hotels, show after show after show. I was like, okay, I understand why you're so tired now. Like, I get why you want to decompress after a long day. I understand it. But it was amazing. Like, that's honestly a life that I can see for myself. I would love to be a very in-demand artist and be able to tour like that 30 something years into my career, just like how she is. So it's
Yeah,
definitely an amazing experience.
yeah. I find it's one of my personal missions to help keep R&B music alive. I mean, I'm not in the music industry, but I'm such a big fan of it, and it's been such a component in my life, my whole entire life, that I feel like I need to dedicate a portion of my life to it. So I like to use my forum as a flashlight to help just propel it as much as I can. That's my part. How old were you when you decided that you wanted to like really sing?
Um, I don't even think I was 18 yet. I might have been 17, because the switch really happened during COVID.
Mm,
That's kind of like when I had this, like, I guess, coming to myself since thing. I just started thinking about everything. I was in a house, I couldn't do much. So I really just started thinking about life. And COVID put a lot of things into perspective for me. Um, I was on track to go to college, go to school to be a dentist. That was like what was written in stone. That was what I was supposed to do. I was in a 2-year program in high school. Like, I have certifications. Like, I was really in it. I was deep in it. But when COVID came, I really started to ask myself, is this really what I want? Like, is this really how I want to live my life? I was still doing YouTube really heavy at the time, and I was heavy on my creative bag. And I just couldn't see myself clocking into work every day, putting on some scrubs and playing in somebody else. Like, as good as the money is, don't get me wrong. Like, I worked at a dental office for a good, they got 8 months out of me, and then I quit. And the money is really good. You meet some really nice people, but none of that can compare to like how I feel up on stage. So I just had a breaking point. I was like, I think I'm gonna sing. Everybody keeps asking me. My TikToks are going viral of me just doing random stuff, and people are putting two and two together.
Mhm.
So they're like, "Can you sing? Can you sing for us?" And I'm like, "Well, y'all keep asking. I might as well just do it." And I ended up doing it, and that's kind of when the bug kind of bit me.
Yeah. I remember seeing you on a reality show, and I think it was your mom and your grandmom were together, and they said, "Well, you need to be the singing dentist." I remember somebody saying that, and I think that the component that you're speaking of is the fact that it feeds your soul. You singing on stage, that feeds your soul, and there's nothing else like when your soul is fed.
Yeah, yeah. It was such a day and night difference because I quit my job um maybe about 2 months before I went out on the road,
Hmm.
and just to see like the complete night and day of the two and how I felt, how my mental was, like despite all of like the negative things that went on, there was still nothing like getting up on stage. No matter if I was the first one or not, out of the opening acts, I still got up on that stage and I did what I was supposed to do, and I felt so fulfilled. Like I felt like I feel like I'm on top of the world. Like I could do anything when I'm on stage, and I don't ever feel like I'm at work.
Yeah.
I was performing for 15 minutes, and then I got to go and rush, change my clothes, and get out of my performing bag. And now I'm an assistant because I was really assisting my mom. So it was best of both worlds. I was very tired. It was very hectic, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned early on, you mentioned some of your inspirations. Being on the road and being around people, have you met any people that have maybe not lived up to your expectations of who they were when you met them in the flesh? You don't have to mention any names.
Oh, I
Just
won't. But yeah, for sure. And I think that's just given. We're in a very this is a superficial industry. I mean, we got to call a spade for a spade. There are a lot of people who present one way, but behind closed doors they're another. And normally that comes out when you're having those human interactions with said person. It's so funny. Like I never forget when I met somebody and they were so rude to not only me but my mother as well. And
wow.
it's like it's not to say it's one thing to be rude to me, but it's one thing to be rude to somebody who you don't know who they are, but somebody who really put in the work to be known as Coco, and you sit here and you deliberately like you're just rude and you're hateful. I can't rock with that. And their karma did come because a lot of stuff ended up happening to them after that.
Wow.
But just certain things like that, you never one know who you're talking to. You know,
Sure.
you could be rude to one person this day, but tomorrow they surpassed you. They got more hits than you now. So you just got to be careful with that type of stuff. So when I meet people, I make sure that I'm nice. Even if I don't feel like talking, I'm gonna crack a smile, say my highs, and I'm gonna say my goodbyes.
Do you have at this point since you've been on tour, do you have a favorite city at this point?
um, Detroit was pretty lit.
Yeah.
Washington D.C. was lit.
Yeah.
And I got to give it to my hometown. Like Virginia was off the hook for sure. Like they came and showed out.
That's what's up. What part of Virginia are you from?
Virginia Beach.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I went to college in Richmond. I had fun down there. Virginia was cool.
You?
Virginia VUU.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know a few people at VUU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the music that you're doing now, because like I've noticed that there's a different vibe now. You've kind of switched a little bit. Like it's a little bit more adult, if I could say that. Not that you were like a kid before, but it has a little bit of different tone to it now. Talk about that a little bit.
Um, it's surprising because like a lot of the stuff that my past two singles, they're kind of old. Um, a lot of the stuff that I've been working on lately is old. Um, I feel like I'm the type of person who will start a project or start a song, and I might not have the experience or the direct direction that I know that I want to go in.
Hmm.
So I leave it alone. But lately, life has been life, and I've been going through some things, and I've been able to finish a lot of old projects. I wouldn't say. You think they're a little adult? You think?
Because the tone is different. The
Okay.
tone is a little bit more robust. It has more robustness in the tone,
Okay.
so it makes it seem more adult.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. Yeah. I don't know. You know, like I said, a lot of my stuff is old. Like, and I just kind of pick up from where I started. There's no, it kind of just depends on where I'm at in life, honestly.
Mhm.
When it comes to the context of what I'm talking about. So, like, funny enough that I'm talking about this, I plan on releasing like a mini project topping next year, and it kind of is explaining some of the things that I've been going through within the past year or so. So
Okay.
that's exciting. I'm excited for everybody to hear that. But yeah.
What's your process? Do you get a track and you start writing to the track, or you come up with your lyrics first? Like, how do you go about it?
It depends on how I feel. Like for instance, would never be. My producer sent me that track, and I just wrote to it.
Okay.
Flossing, I wrote to what was in my head. So I wrote the lyrics out, came up with the melody, and then I kind of pieced everything together through voice notes and sent it over to my producer. So
Gotcha.
it kind of varies. You know, it
Okay.
depends on how I'm feeling, what the topic is about, or just where I'm at in life. You know, if I'm feeling really creative, I can probably just right here, right now, come up with the melody, and I'm set. Now I'm writing for the rest of the night. By tomorrow, I'll come up with the whole entire bass, drum, like all of that. Like I'm that type of person. So it
Okay.
really just depends.
Do you weigh in with your mom to see what she thinks, or you're beyond that point?
Um, I think my earlier songs, I definitely um was always sending them to her. But I think
Hmm.
I'm at a point now where I'm a bit more confident in who I am as an artist now. So I'm able to write, you know, I have a process of recording at home and then going into the studio and recording again. So
Okay.
I usually write, I record in the house, see how I like everything. And then since she comes to the studio with me, that's when I'll be like, okay, this is what we're working on. This is what it is. This is what it's not. What do you think? Do you hear any harmonies? Like, you know, we kind of bounce ideas back off from each other. But I think I'm far from, you know, sending her every single song that I'm working on, in hopes that she loves it and she has no critiques. Like I'm kind of past that.
Good. Good. In your, I'm going back to your inspiration. So I think that our musical tastes are, it's kind of beyond us a little bit, meaning that it stretches in the past because some of us are exposed to our parents' music, which some of the music we weren't around, but we hear it because our parents love it and it becomes a part of our musical rotation. How far does your musical taste go back?
Far, like far. If I can go off the top of my head, I know I probably have music in my library from like the 50s. Like
Okay.
I go all the way back. Like I was in middle school listening to like Wanted, Young Man, Single and Free. Like, why are you in middle school listening listening to that? But I listened to that because I figured out that it was sampled in Mary songs. So it's just
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know, my music taste is very wide.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Who are you listening to now? Give me about five artists that you're listening to now.
uh Summer Walker's always in rotation for me. Um I play her album Still Over It out. Um, Chloe,
Hmm.
I've been getting more into her recent project. Um, who else? Beyonce, of course. Um, Trying to go through my playlist in my head. That's what, three
Hmm.
total. Um, I'm gonna look over here at my vinyls. And my mom, no, Michael Jackson. Yeah, that's where we're gonna go.
Okay. All right. Do you have a favorite genre? Is there a genre of music that you lean more towards than another?
Um, I kind of teeter totter between pop and R&B.
Okay.
I like to listen to like, especially nowadays. Um, I like to listen to stuff that feeds the mind, body, and soul and inspires me.
Hmm.
Um, so I try not to listen to just listen to stuff just to listen to it. Like
Yeah.
I the streaming era, in my opinion, has just killed the music industry. We have so much music at our hands at all time,
Right.
to the point where you could just click, 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 click. You listen to a song and then now you click fast forward and you hear a song that you have never ever heard before. It's overstimulation of music. So I try to make sure, like, even like lately, I've been trying to get into more music as far as like newer music
Right.
because I don't really listen to newer music, but it's actually not that bad. But that's beside the point. I really do try to feed my mind, body, and soul with stuff that has a message and isn't just a whole bunch of gibberish.
Do you have that thing where you know a hit song when you hear like maybe the first bars of it?
Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So for that reason, I kind of put Shazam on my phone because I never know when I'm going to hear something that I like, and I have to snatch it while I can
Mm-hmm.
because it could be like the first bar or maybe the bridge, and then I'll know that I appreciate it, and then I have to find out what it is. So and that's how I'm building my music collection off of things that I snatch. Because other than that, because I don't listen to the radio because they play the same things over and over and over
Yeah,
again, and it's not really anything that I want to hear. So yeah.
totally. Yeah, I get that a lot. I get that.
So talk to me about reality TV. Do you like it or you don't like it?
It's cute, but it's not something that I personally like would take a career in. Like that's something like I'll go on reality TV maybe for a season or something to like help boost my career or like help promote something, but just to like off a whim, like I want to be a reality TV star. No. Um, I when I was on the show, I was told one thing, but I was perceived another way, you
Wow.
know? And there were a
Do you
lot
feel
of
like you were set up?
maybe not set up, but there were definitely like I was told and me and my mom were fed the idea that I kind of had like a actual storyline other than the dentistry thing. Like we filmed a lot of scenes,
Mhm.
okay? Like a lot of scenes. And when the show came out, I was like, so y'all had us film those scenes and majority of these scenes aren't even in here. You wasted our time. That's what you did. You wasted our time. So that kind of just put a bad taste in my mouth. And then like, well, all like you got to deal with the Twitter stuff and seeing what people got to say about you. Like from the reality show, like I'm still like getting over the stuff people would say about me. Like it took me a minute to bounce back from like what people had to say about the way I sung or just stuff like that. It took a minute for me to be like, you know what? F them. Let me get back in my bag. Like that it does too much for me. Like I know at least with being an artist or being a creative, if I want to turn off my phone, I can turn off my phone and that's that. But I feel like with reality TV, I don't know, it just and then you gotta think about like if you're an artist and you go on reality TV and you're not already established, you're taken as a joke after that.
Yeah.
Like people don't take you seriously. You're a reality TV star. You're an internet personality. You're not an artist at that point.
Mm.
So that's another reason why I'm like I want to stay as far away from it as possible. If it's not doing anything as far as promotional, I'd rather stay away from it.
I hear you. I hear you. What were your coping mechanisms for that? Like, how did you cope on the aftermath and you dealing and reeling with the aftermath of that and that onslaught of people's opinions in your face?
Um, well, I was in therapy at the time, so
That's
she
good.
kind of helped. Yeah, she kind of helped with that, but it kind of after a while put a battery in my back. I all of 2023 I didn't release anything, and part of that was because I was kind of just battling with like, oh, do I really want to put this out? Like, just I don't know. It put doubts in my head, so it kind of boiled down to you got to show them. Like, you got to show them why you're supposed to be here, why you're given these opportunities, why you feel like, or why I feel like I should be on top of the best.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like that's what I've done. That's what I've been doing. And I feel like I have to still continue to do that because I feel like a lot of people still do play on my top. Like a lot of people don't give me the credit that I deserve. And don't get me wrong, I haven't put in half as much work as a lot of these other artists who are way beyond me. But I still feel like at some point in time, when you look at somebody and the work ethic and you notice that with them it's about the quality, not the quantity. I feel like that's worth something. It's worth at least giving them their tens. You don't have to stream their music. You don't have to do this, that, and the fourth, but at least acknowledge that they're trying.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of times, um, I get overlooked just a little bit.
Yeah. Do you feel like society in general puts importance on the wrong things sometimes?
Absolutely,
Most times. Yeah.
absolutely. Especially when it comes to the music industry, there are a lot of everybody got their priorities mixed up. Like I was literally just having this talk with my mom the other day about how I think it's just crazy that the industry, these record labels don't sign talent and then they're upset when the talent isn't recouping the money that they put out on the
Mm,
talent. Talent.
mm,
So how are you upset? Now you got to drop all these artists because you decided that you didn't want to sign anybody with talent.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, a lot of these record labels are digging themselves into deeper holes because they're following the trends. You're following what social media is telling you what's popular, but you're seeing that it's not that popular. The general public is not picking up what you're putting down because the talent is not there. And I think I've been seeing this a lot on Twitter lately about people wanting that now. They want diversity. They want talent. Now they want all of this. It's kind of like a lose-lose situation at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah. So talk about your new single a little bit. It's hot and you have a video. So plug it. Sell yourself.
Yes. So I dropped Flossin. Oh wait, yes, Flossin. I dropped Flossin. Was it Flossin or California Hills? You talking about the collaboration or my
Yes.
single?
Yes. That's fire.
Okay. Yes, thank you. So actually working with Young Fonzie, it's so crazy. We went to school together. Didn't really put two and two together until we graduated. And it was a really organic link up. He didn't know who my mom was. Like it was strictly based off of vibes. You a cool dude. Let's work together. We both from VA. Like let's put VA even more on the map. So it took me a minute to write my verse. I rewrote my verse maybe like 3 times. Um, I was working at the dental office at the time, left work early to go cut the verse. Um, and I think I filmed the video. We filmed the video maybe about a month before I went on tour. Um, but yeah, when I was writing my verse, I was listening to his lyrics and what the message of the song was really about, and I kind of tied that to my own life and my own upbringing, and we came up with a smash hit in my
Yeah,
book.
it's fire. No, it's fire. It's
Thank
fire.
you.
So there's a thing that I do on my show where I get my guests to manifest something for themselves, put something in the universe, because I found that it works, and I've gotten great results, or my guests have gotten great results by putting things into the universe. So, what would you put into the universe for yourself?
Um, Keep it short and sweet and simple. A successful career. Um, a successful career that will bring me lots of joy, peace, happiness, money, and longevity. I think that's something that is definitely missing with artists from my generation is the longevity.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how popular a lot of these artists will be in the next 20 years. So I pray that, when I do fully debut with like an EP and album and things of that nature, that it just brings me longevity.
Well, I most certainly hope that you come back to this show, and we can grow with you.
Yeah.
I think that you're a dynamic artist. I'm looking forward to hearing like great, great, great things from you. And tell people where they can follow you and keep up with you and to catch your video.
So you can follow me TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at JMichael, JAYYEMICHAEL. The YouTube video for California Hills is on Young Fonzie's channel. I do not know his channel names, but Young Fonzie, you can find it. And yeah,
All right. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you so much. And tell your mom I said what's up.
I will.
Be blessed.
Thank you, you too.
All right.